Alright, peoples of the internet, my name is Maximum Illusion, and welcome to the beginning of my YouTube channel. I decided that through my travels of Warframe, I have decided that I should make a video detailing Warframes and how immortal they can or cannot be. And so I'm going to entitle this series, Is It Immortal? And I thought that out of all the Warframes that I could start with, the best one to start with would be Inaros, because, for those of you who've actually seen Inaros and what he has, it's pretty insane. I mean, right, as a base, Inaros has a lot of
What do you
health.
say, operator?
I
Your
mean,
chosen
he has
Warframe
2,000, at
suits
max rank,
you.
he has 2,200
Ha
health,
ha.
200 armor, which honestly isn't that bad, but that 2,200 health is insane. It is ridiculous. It really is. And so, I decided to go about the task of making a build for him that would make him quite literally immortal in game modes like survival and in everyday life. Get attacked while making your cereal, making your morning breakfast, for instance. He can't die anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Things like that, just unkillable. And the build that I ended up coming up with is something along the lines of this. And I'll explain why I have these gladiator mods on here right after this, right after I finish explaining all the rest of the stuff, because they mean a lot to this build, for reasons you guys won't understand until you see what I'm pairing him up with. So, first of all, let's start with the basic one. We have Vitality. I mean, you cut off, that Vitality literally builds up all of his health. Literally. It adds so much to him. So much. It's insane how much it adds to him. Because his base health is 500, and this adds plus 440% to that base health. So it literally adds 2,000, more than 2,000 health right there. And as a second, just because I threw in a Gladiator Resolve, which adds another 180% health, because reasons. Because once again, it's a Gladiator mod, and I think you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this and why I have them on there, but I'll still explain it later on. Gladiator Aegis for that extra 45% armor, because he's got 200 armor, so 290, might as well. Also another Gladiator mod. This is more of a filler mod, and it's just because it's the only other Gladiator mod there is for the Warframe. That's the only other reason I put it on there. You don't really need it, and you could, for the most part, switch it out for things like, steel fiber, antitoxin, things like that, but I don't know
New
why you would
alert
want to do
marked on
that.
navigation, Tenno.
I personally prefer this just because, really, Lotus, you're gonna do this to me right now? Wow, so rude. Yeah, anyways, yeah, I just have it on here because it's another Gladiator mod that's really useful. So, because Inaros is special in the fact that he doesn't have any shield, I decided to put on a Rage mod, right? 40% of damage to health goes to energy, which is really useful. But because this is actually a more energy-based build than most you would see, I threw on a Hunter Adrenaline as well, just because I know it's going to make him that much harder to kill. Steel Charge, I have it on there not just because it has that extra energy bonus, because it has that extra 4 capacity added on, which is 4 more than any other aura mod you can get, which is really useful, but also because it's a 60% increase in melee damage. That increase is insane. For those of you who don't know, that 60% increase, it stacks on top of things like Pressure Point, but 60% is a lot. It is a lot of extra damage. And so throwing it on there on a build that's going to be mainly melee is really, really useful. We threw on a Flow mod. Eventually I'm going to upgrade it to Primed Flow, but for now it's just a Flow. And that just adds on extra energy because, like I said before, energy build. Throw on a Rapid Resilience just because I don't want to be, I don't want my health to be chained down by, status effects. Honestly, you don't really need it. You could probably just switch it out for something different, but I find it useful. I mean, you can switch that. This is another mod you can just switch out. Handspring is actually going to be really useful, mainly because if you get knocked over with this build in really high levels, and you can't get up fast enough, they will one-shot you. They will tear through all 5,610 HP in one hit if you don't get up fast enough. And that can seriously tear your character apart. And because we're building a build that's supposed to be, for all intents and purposes, immortal, we can't have them doing that to us. So now that I've explained all of this and why I have all these mods on here, it's time to show you why these gladiator mods are so important. So, this is War of the Dead Prime. It's a weapon that I created. It's a Zal weapon that's made for critting. It's a pretty powerful weapon, if I do say so myself. So, I stuck on there Shimmering Blight just because I like how Shimmering Blight has that extra movement speed. You can just, I feel like you can move around a lot, you're a lot more mobile with it than you are with the other stances that you can get, the Bleeding Willow. Everyone says that Bleeding Willow is better, but I personally think that Shimmering Blight is just so much better. Lotus! You're messing up my video! Stop it! So rude, she does this all the time, it's so annoying. Anyways, so, we have the typical stuff from our crit build, Blood Rush, Body Count, Organ Shatterer, and Pressure Point. Then we have a few mods you're not going to really understand why we have on here. True Steel for extra crit chance because, you know, why have 32 when you can have 60? We have Gladiator Might on there because why have 3.8 when you can have 5? And then, just for good measure, this is a bit of an empty space. You can put on here anything you want. You can put Berserk, you can put, you know, Reach. I personally like Reach on there just because it's actually going to work a lot better in my favor. Because when I get primed Reach, that'll be so useful. That plus 100 and like, what is it, 140% range is insane. It will seriously boost your character. And it will make it so that he's just that much harder to kill. And here, the last mod I'm going to talk to you about, this is why this build is so energy intensive. It's Life Strike. I know you guys in the comments are going to tear me apart about the fact that it's max rank, but I can assure you I have a reason. This weapon, so you guys understand how Blood Rush works, how, you know, 165% crit chance stacked with your combo multiplier. Well, if you can get up to a 4 times combo multiplier with this full build on this character with, you know, all his mods with those 3 specific gladiator mods, at a 4 times combo multiplier, Life Strike, while channeling, even though it drains 12 energy, regenerates 30,000 health per hit. That's right, 30,000 health per hit. Every hit. Every enemy. And because every single time you take damage to your health, it regenerates your energy at 85% efficiency, you will practically, at the higher levels, you'll practically never be out of energy. Because this thing will regenerate it at the speed of light. Quite literally. So, after doing the math and adding it all up, the gladiator mods each add 60% crit chance, adding up to a total of 240%. Add on a Blood Rush for plus 165%, you get a whopping plus 405% crit chance times your multiplier. So, say you have a combo multiplier of 2. With this build, you right there have guaranteed tier 4 crits, also known in the community, relatively speaking, as black crits. For those of you who don't understand how crits work, tier 1 crits is anything between 1% or anything above 0%, but at 100% or lower. Tier 2 crits is anything above 100%, but 200% or less. Tier 3 crits, red crits, which is what everyone mostly knows, is anything above 200%, but 300% or less. What most people don't know is it goes farther than that. In fact, it goes endlessly farther than that. It can go and go and go. So, assuming you could go that long, you could conceivably get up to an 8 times combo multiplier with, you know, the full set of gladiator mods, giving yourself a 705% increase of crit chance times your combo multiplier. So, say you got up to, I don't know, let's just come up with one. 10. Let's say you manage to get your combo multiplier up to 10. It's a huge number, and you'll probably never be able to pull it off realistically. But if you did, your crit multiplier, your crit chance multiplier, would be 70.5, because you have a 7,050% crit chance increase. So that's, and that times what we have here as our crit chance, 51.2, gives you a whopping 3,609.6% crit chance. And as you know, that gives us level 36 crits. Plug that into the equation that gives you your crit damage multiplier, and we end up with 143. This is where it gets a little shady and how I don't really understand how it goes on from here, or how it stacks, or if it doesn't stack, or if it's just additive, but I'm assuming that when you activate channeling, it is multiplicative. So, you're going to multiply 143 times 1.5 to get 214.5. And then, because we haven't actually put in the fact that you have a 10 times combo multiplier, we multiply it by 10, giving you a base multiplier of 2,145. That's insane. Now, assuming that you're doing, say, 1,000 base damage against an enemy, in one hit you will do 2,145,000 damage. And because you're channeling, you'll regenerate 429,000 health. It stacks endlessly. You could go up to 11, 12, 13. I mean, it's going to take you forever. You'll probably burn through 2 or 3 keyboards doing it. But that's not the point. The point is this has endless damage. It goes up and up and up and up and up. I mean, just as a base, this one build right here that I have set up here at a 4 times combo multiplier will do 186,000 damage in one hit and regenerate approximately 37,000 health on hit, which is ridiculous. Seriously ridiculous. And in case you guys don't believe that this character is seriously overpowered, in my next video I will be doing more of a showdown between me and the armies of darkness. I'm going to be going through a derelict survival mission. I will warn you guys that if you do make this build, getting Inaros it's ridiculous. It can be very hard or very easy. I got the worst of it. I ended up having to fight off juggernauts. And this was before I actually managed to get a hold of my Zal weapon. I named it War of the Dead because, you know, for those of you who've played Diablo 3 and have earned the War of the Dead, you know what the description of that weapon is. Only the dead have seen the end of war. And this thing, it will end war. Seriously, it's ridiculous. But, anyways, the weapon I was using before this was the Broken War. This was my build on it, more or less the same, other than the fact that, you know, I have a prime pressure point, but it's 120, and this is just me being a show-off. I had actually a Fever Strike on here, and mainly, and I could drop this off if I wanted to and put on my Berserker, but honestly, the Fever Strike makes this a much more viable weapon. But when you really think about it, if we were to equip, I do believe, yeah, this one actually does about the same. It does the same slash damage, but it does more impact, has a higher crit chance, and is basically better than the Broken War in every way. But a lot of people are still going to say that the oh god, that one whip, I can't actually remember the name of it right now, but there's a certain whip that supposedly does more damage than it as a when critting. But when you take into the fact that this thing has a higher crit multiplier, higher crit chance, and slightly less damage, I think this one would win in the end. Just because this one has that life strike on there that makes it infinitely more viable as long term. So if you guys enjoyed this build, enjoyed what I come up with, I'm going to be doing more of these. I'm probably going to be doing one for every single character that I can get in the game. As far as primes and non-prime variants, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing the prime variant. So if, you know, for Valkyr and Valkyr Prime, I would do Valkyr Prime and the build would apply to the regular Valkyr, but I don't have them right now. I will be getting them soon, though. I will be getting them soon, and that's gonna be fun. So, if you guys liked the video, please like it, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you really want to, hit that notification bell because it helps. It does. I'd like to say that once this YouTube channel gets going and I start making some serious money, the only money that I'll actually be using, like I'll only use the money that I need to support myself, my family, and my YouTube channel. And all other money that I make will be going straight to a charity. So if I'm making, say, $1 million a year, I'm probably going to take, what, 100,000, maybe $150,000 out of that, and all the rest of it, all the rest of the $850,000 is going to go straight to a charity fund. Because, let's be honest, I'm just some random guy in the middle of nowhere doing a YouTube channel, and I'm not going to need that kind of money. Ever need that kind of money. So without any further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said before, like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell if you want to, and I will see you all in the next video.